Hi, my name is Vaani.
My name is Sorabh.
We got engaged in November 21.
Yes.
So it's been almost a year and a half to the day to get married. When we started the planning process, we knew we didn't want a London wedding. We're both from London. All of our friends got married in London. Your sister got married in London.
Yep.
So we knew that we didn't want to have a London wedding, but we knew we wanted a big fat Indian wedding. So we checked Italy,
Portugal, Turkey, Greece. We looked at all different places, and then Vaani came up. We went through at least 15 different wedding planners. So we had Skype calls, phone calls, and the best advice people gave us was find someone that you can connect with on a personal level. And then Vaani told me about Svetlana, and I said, okay, she sounds really cool. Let's arrange a call.
I found her on Instagram, I think, before we even got engaged. I saw an advert for one of Svetlana's things, and I thought, let me save it, just in case for the future. And I think we reached out to, 15 different planners.
Yeah.
3 in Italy, a few in Portugal, a couple in Turkey, a few London ones that would do destination weddings. We would talk through budgets, what we wanted, and exactly that. Svetlana just knew what we wanted, she saw our vision, she thought about our budget, she gave us hints and tips as to what we should consider for our budget, how many events we would have, number of people, and we just knew from that first conversation that we clicked really.
Yeah,
and that was really important for us.
The best part of this entire journey is I know Indian weddings can be incredibly stressful. I've seen my sister get married, I've seen all my friends get married. We had 7 weddings last year, and they were all Indian weddings. And the common theme was everything ran late, bride and groom were always stressed, you don't get time with your guests, everything is just hectic. The brief that we gave to Svetlana was, we want peace of mind, we want to prioritize sleep, we definitely want to eat, but we also want to maximize the time that we have with our guests. And the past 3 days, every single guest has come to us and said, you guys don't seem stressed as a bride and groom. I was like, why should we be?
Yeah.
And they were like, why are you at breakfast with us? Why are you at lunch with us? Why are you having dinner with us? Like, shouldn't you be getting ready? I was like, no, we've planned everything. And Svetlana and the team have planned and organized the day so that we had like 3-4 hours to spend time with our loved ones.
And have a nap.
Yeah, and have a nap. Definitely have a nap. But also, all of our family have flown in from the States. These are family members we see once every couple of years. So to be able to be in a position where I can have 2-3 hours to have lunch with my family members, or meet my new family members and have a couple of drinks with them at the bar, knowing that nothing else is going to be disturbed and we can run to time, be fantastic. And everything went to time. We actually finished our Hindu ceremony on time. We were an hour early for our photos, got the photos done, and then we ended up having the entire afternoon with our guests, and it was the most magical thing ever. So to me, that's priceless. Because of the organization, the professionalism, for Svetlana, Anna, Gloria, and Anisha here, everyone's committed to what we needed to do. So we don't have to think, it's just peace of mind, which is great. Yeah. And that's what I loved. And I think that's what makes Svetlana and her team different to all the others. So I think this was second best decision of my life, besides asking you to marry me. That was it.
Thank you. Yeah, so we obviously connected with Svetlana and it's all come to fruition, but for us the cherry on top of the cake was Italian food. Yes. Aperol, gelato, you can't go wrong. We didn't want much Indian food at the wedding, we had one Indian meal and the rest were happy to have different types of Italian food. So we knew that was the process we were going to start, and we kicked it off really. We kicked it off in January of last year, so that was 15 months ago now? 15 months. So once we've agreed with Svetlana we were going to go with her, the next process was then picking a venue. So Svetlana has a great process of, she's split Italy essentially into 3 categories, and it's all based on budget and the style of wedding that you want. So we knew we wanted beachside, overlooking the ocean, sunset vibes.
Yeah.
So because of that, Svetlana came back to us with about 8 different proposals of different venues that she's held weddings at, or some that were new, and we looked at the proposals, we looked at things like distance to airport, number of bedrooms, because another thing was we didn't want to have buses between different areas, from the wedding to the reception to the accommodation. We want everybody on site, everything is just in place, so we didn't want that. So because of all of those things, we needed number of rooms was important, close proximity to airport for all of our international travellers. So based on that, we narrowed it down to 4 venues.
4 venues, yeah.
One being this lovely one, and then 3 that we saw in Sicily. So I think We then flew out a few months later with Svetlana
in February, I believe. Yeah, so we flew out for a weekend, was it?
It was 3 days, and
3
we
days,
did
yeah.
all 4 venues. We spent the day roaming the venues, talking about what opportunities there were, possibilities of food, drinks, how would our guests get there, and then what we thought of the venue itself. And we loved 2. One in Sicily and one
Yeah.
this one in Paestum. And we flew back to London and we debated because I loved the Sicily one, Sorabh loved this one, and we talked about what was realistic in terms of budget, what could we stretch more, what would our family like, and we decided on this one, and honestly, the best decision ever. So I think we locked our date down a year ago. The save the dates all went out once we'd confirmed everything with Svetlana, and then the process of actually planning this whole event started. And there's so many things to consider with Indian weddings, which I couldn't even start at. And Svetlana knew exactly what we needed to do, from the bundit to the flowers, to the food, to the transportation, and
to the door
coaches.
players, to the sapphires, to all these little nuances that we didn't even consider. And one thing that was really important to us was we wanted to source everything locally.
Or as much as we possibly
As
could.
much as possible, because one of the things that was a constraint for us was if we brought people in from the UK, it's extra flights, extra accommodations, extra travel, and then the costs just sort of spiral out of control. So
We stayed local.
Yeah, we stayed local, and it's amazing because the local vendors that we've spoken to, like the local photographers, they know all the best spots. So they took us around the town, they showed us some of the archaeological sites and the ruins, and we had photo shoots there. They know all the best spots to do, which was fantastic.
Yeah.
They had all the same equipment, they had a drone, we had amazing pictures by the beach at sunset, and they captured all the most beautiful moments that we wanted.
They really did. One of the key things that I was worried about, as all brides are, as a makeup artist.
Yes.
It's the biggest day of my life. I need to make sure that I look good. So I was thinking, do I do a trial in London, fly somebody out? But Svetlana found me somebody in Italy, and when we came for our food tasting a bit later on, I also had my makeup trial, and I was super comfortable with everything.
Everything was maximized. So when we flew out to look at all the venues, like we saw 5 venues in the space of 3 days, so it was efficient and productive, which is what we wanted. We don't want to keep flying back and forth.
We're busy people, we haven't
Yeah.
got time to be flying out all the time, and also it eats into budget as well.
It does. And then when we came for the food tastings, Fernanda said, okay, we've got everything organized, breakfast, lunch, dinner. These are all the courses. We're going to have everything set out at this time and then this time. And then in between, Vaani's going to have her trial makeup with her makeup artist. I think you had like 2.
It was just the one.
Oh, it was just the one? Okay, so it was all organized and it was effortless.
And
But
then at the same time, our parents managed to do a walk around to see if they confirmed they like it as well, and it wasn't just us.
yeah,
So it was really
I
good.
think the best part from the guest point of view was all the logistics were taken care of. So Svetlana had a Google Sheets, so we put all our guest details in. Once they RSVP'd, Svetlana would get a copy of it all, and then she'd get their flight details, their dietary requirements. So we didn't have to chase many people.
There was some we did.
We had to chase at least like
We
10.
more so than him.
Yeah, she chased up 10 people. But out of the 128 guests that we had, the majority, like 90% of them, replied everything to the RSVP and the website. Everything gets pulled into the spreadsheet that Svetlana had. And the next thing you know, Svetlana's like, okay, I've organised transport between these flights, and these flights. And she just grouped everyone together. I was like, this is great. So people can literally just fly in. They had like a sign, Vaani and Sorabh's wedding at the airport, so it was very clear who you were going to meet. They ticked you off, get into the coach, hour and a half later, and she took the scenic route. So there's 2 routes you can take. You can either take the motorway, which is quicker, or you can take the scenic route around the Amalfi Coast and see the sea and the coastline and everything. And she chose that one because it's much more enjoyable for the guests. It's these little nuances that the team put in place that really made it magical. And that's one thing that guests loved. Everyone spoke about the journey, coming down the scenic route, the coastal route, which was beautiful. And then when they arrived, gift boxes were ready for them, everything was sorted. The team, the hotel, the resort, everything's just been like, I don't know, like it's been efficient, it's been perfect, it's worked exactly as we planned, and it's very rare to say that happens in weddings.
Yeah, I think the best thing for me was we started with 3 events, a Sangeet, a wedding and reception, and that fitted into budget. And then slowly, over time, 3 events became 5. But Svetlana was really careful with making sure that we knew how much things would cost, extra costs, budgets, realism of where things are going to be. We only have so many different places where we can do certain things at the venue, otherwise it's a repeat for the guests and it's not as interesting. So taking all those things into consideration, we've managed to actually have 5 events in the 3 days in different places around the resort. So the guests loved it, they were still entertained. The food options were slightly different, so they weren't repeating the same food all over again. And I think it all just, came together so well, so beautifully. And thankfully the weather has shined down on us as well.
Yeah,
That was
the
one of
weather
the
was great.
considerations of booking the date was consideration of venues, of weather. Is it going to be warm enough in Italy for us to have outdoor evening events? Would it be too cold? Are there enough backup options in case the rain comes or it's too cold, there's a frost and we can't be outside? And these are all considerations that Svetlana was really keen to make sure that we knew before we said yes to anything.
Yeah. I've loved it. It's great. It's the only wedding that's run to time and early.
Yes, we're
And-
early, on time, relaxed, got our last event in like half an hour and we're both very relaxed, already had our photo shoots,
We're done. We're chilling.
ready to party. So if you want to get married in Italy, Svetlana is the person you go to. Do not hesitate, book now.
Yeah, just don't think twice. I would say, for someone who hates planning and hates weddings, this has been effortless from start to finish. But the most important thing is, like, we valued her honesty. Like, she wasn't trying to bump the price up. She wasn't trying to rip us off. Like, she was very honest. She said, this works really well, this doesn't. This isn't good value for money, this will be. Have you thought about doing this instead of that? So she gave us options and she sort of talked us through all the things we wanted to do. So we gave her the vision, this is what we want. And then she gave us some of the options to help us to, I had some ideas, which was stupid. And then Svetlana was like, yeah, we shouldn't do that. I was like, okay, that makes sense. And then when you get to the venue, you're like, okay, now I understand why she said that, because it wouldn't work. But everything's been magical. And I think the biggest testament is hearing what our guests have said. Like, everyone's loved it. They fell in love with the venue when they came in. They loved all the little touches. They noticed all the little touches, more importantly. And it's just been smooth sailing. It's been fantastic. Everything's gone perfect without a hitch. So we can't thank the team enough.